We are not doing that. That's not the focus of the state. I've seen it, and we need to change that. Each local, not just the state party, each local, your number one priority, if it should be, building your local. Building your local. State level, number one priority should be getting more affiliates, growing the party. That should be our main focus. That's the only way we're going to become viable. And to do it, if you're a local affiliate, you need to go out there and door knock. There's thousands of Green Party registered members here in Florida, thousands all around. I knock on many of the door. When you knock on the door, they're glad to see you. They really are. We need to bring them back together, form affiliates, and the affiliates we have, the affiliates need to go out and start door knocking and get more members in their affiliate because they got more soldiers to go out and do stuff. You also need to go out and do tabling in your community. Go out and do the table. Educate your community. When you got a farmer's market or whatever, educate your community. The issues are there. When you're focusing on issues, you're wasting a lot of time and energy. I'm telling you. Issues are very important. Like I said, they're very important to me. But if you're spending all your time trying to perfect issues for the Green Party and all, you're wasting your time because you're not going to go nowhere until you build a viable party to enforce those issues. That's basically where I can't emphasize enough that the locals need to really focus on building your local, getting more members. The other thing is, locals, and the other thing is your neighbor affiliates. We had neighbor affiliates here. Duval fell through. What would it have took to get Duval back on board? I used to be a member up there. I had to leave there. I couldn't communicate because of personal reasons up there. My ex was a member up there. It would have only took a couple people to make some phone calls, maybe a trip up there to talk to some people. There's people out there I know that could have got that affiliate back together. But we had no effort. And to emphasize on it, last year we had the meeting here, and we started an outreach group, and we met every monthly calls. And I mentioned that about Duval many times. We had a couple people on the call, sure, and I appreciate the people were on the call, but not enough. Every affiliate should have been on that call. Every affiliate should have been on that call for outreach, trying to learn how to build their group, how they can help other groups, but there was no effort. Duval could have been saved. Indian River County is falling through the cracks. I was trying to push that for a while, getting no help. We have 2 new affiliates in Polk County. How many here have went over to Polk County and talked to those people and tried to help them in the new affiliates? How many? See, we're not helping. We're not focusing on building our party, helping our other affiliates, build new affiliates. We're not building a viable party. Therefore, election time, we're going to lose. We're going to lose this national election coming up. We have the platform. We have outstanding candidates, no matter who it is. This guy sounds very outstanding. Sounds like a great guy. Jill and me was now outstanding. Howie seems like it. We have the candidates, but the people don't know about us. We don't have no party. And unless we get out in the community and educate the public and bring our members together and start forming a real party, we're not going to go nowhere. And, that's the challenge for you all. I'm going to be working on my affiliate, trying to build my affiliate. If anybody wants any information on how to help your affiliates, I'm free. Give me a call, whatever. But, I'm taking a break. I'm not going out and building any more affiliates until we start supporting affiliates. And we start by going over to Polk County. Polk County, new affiliate over there, they don't know how to run. They don't know nothing. They're just new people. Help Polk County get on their feet, and that's what we need to do. And it's up to us individuals. One person can't do it, not 2 people. It takes leadership from this party top with Bo and Robin, and you all need to focus on it. I'm sorry, but number one focus of this party needs to build the party. That's it. If we want to educate on issues are great, very important, they're always important to me. Go to the Space Coast Progressive Alliance, they'll give you information on issues. Go to the Sierra Club, you'll get information. Our Facebook should have all kinds of issues on it. But our email list and our state calls shouldn't be talking about issues. Keep that off. Focus on building a party when you have your state calls and on your email list. And we can build a viable party. But it's going to take everyone. And that's all I got now. One last thing I want to say, though, basically, I heard, I think it was Bo, talk about having community groups instead of local affiliates and county affiliates, little local groups, like 2 or 3 people. I think that'd be great. We start little community groups. But one thing I want to address is the voting. The voting system, the way it is right now, with how many votes each affiliate gets, needs to be revised. And I'd like to get some information on how to do a proposal. And my proposal would be that for every 2 members, you get 1 vote. That way, if you got a little community of 2 or 3 people, at least they'll get 1 vote. They have a voice. But I think the proposal was for them not to have any votes. They need a vote. A local, if you got 5 members, that's 2 votes. If you get a 6th member, that's 3 votes. If you get a county, 10 members, that's 5 votes. We need to be proportional. So my proposal would be 1 vote for every 2 members, whether it's a community, whether it's a community, local.
Organized committee is the term that we use.
Okay, whatever. That gives a proportional vote for everybody to be represented. Because the way the system is now, a local and a county, you got 5 members here, 10 members here. I think they have basically the same amount of votes. That's not fair. That's not proportional. And I think we need to change that. So if somebody wants to give me the information or somebody wants to do it, I think we need to change our votes there so it's more.
We'll address that today. We'll vote today when we bylaws.
Okay. And that's all I got. Anybody got any questions? Jeff?
Yeah. It seems like what you're saying is you need to grow the party by making it bigger, which I'm sure is true. But when you're talking to people, the question comes up, why should you join them? What are you doing? And you gotta have an answer to that.
I gotta give you the answer. Basically, well, everybody in here take a look at why you.
John, with my question.
Pardon?
That's where the issues come in. What are you doing with those issues? So, I wrote something for the website, so you want to be an organizer. It discusses at some length how 2 or 3 people can actually answer things. They can build something effective. And the dynamic is, why aren't you doing anything? Well, we don't have enough people. So you got to get more people before you can do anything. If you're not doing anything, you're not going to get more people. Or they're going to come to action. They're not going to come just because of your platform. Or if they come to a platform, you get people who want to talk about platforms. So, with this 2 or 3 people, you can work on issues. But the way you do that isn't you don't join the Sierra. Because they're a Democratic Party. All groups organizing around issues are not exactly. Extinction Rebellion, for instance, is different from the Sierra. Is different from the DSA, Democratic Socialists. The Democratic Party is doing with our out there selling us out. We need a party that can take a stand.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess now we're getting to where the rubber meets the road of how we can be effective and what's causing us to not be effective. I agree with you, John, 100%. We have to grow the locals and we have to get people elected and all that. But just two thoughts about the psychology of, if I understand the psychology of people at all. One of them is that brand, this is a business thing, but I think it works here too. Brand identification, so, and by what I mean by that is, when they see a green bumper sticker on a car, what do they think? I'm talking about Joe, average Joe, right? What does he think? Well, who the hell is that? Or, like I had someone recently said, the Democrats stole the Green New Deal from Jill Stein. I'm not on the Facebook, but the response was, who's Jill Stein? That's how bad it is, So one thing I just suggest is don't be afraid to put our name out there as much as you can, because the more we put it out there, the more people are going to see it, and they're going to wonder what this is all about. I think they call that brand identification. The other thing, real quick, is that why don't the progressives and the liberals join our party? Well, they're afraid, I think. They're afraid of Trump, and they're afraid of the Republicans, and they think their minds are clouded by propaganda, that we have to oppose Trump and the Republicans, and the only way we can oppose, they don't. So I don't know what the answer is exactly, but I know that if we understand their emotion, I think that helps us to articulate that the libertarians are also out there as a thought, you can't really throw an election, you can't steal a vote. It's a sacred thing, and we have to tell these people that, this is America, and the rest of the world enjoys many parties, and you vote for who you want to, We have to change that. So, but I think we have to understand that it's a fear-based thing, and have compassion for them.
All right, Robert's up next.
Well, I think I don't know. Basically, I understand Jeff and all to have the perfect product out there. The thing is, people don't even know about the Green Party. If they don't know about the Green Party, how are they going to know your stand on environmental is perfect? Right? We need to get the Green Party name out there first. Let people even know. I do a lot of table, and I do a lot of door knocking. I run in thousands of people who have never even heard of the Green Party. They don't even know the Green Party. We need to get, and the mainstream media is not going to do it for us. So if you think you're going to get, they're not going to be coming to your website, or it may a few people, but we need to get the word out there. We need soldiers, people on the floor, and there's great people out there. We need to pull them in and into our organizations so we can go out there and table and educate people on our perfect issues. And to attract people here, just look at yourself. What attracted you to the Green Party? The best platform. To me, it's money in politics is the number one issue, war issues, and social justice is probably the three big issues and all. And that's why I could be spending my time doing social justice and all that stuff, but I'm not going to change anything until we get people in office to change stuff. And we ain't going to get people in office to change stuff until we become viable. We're not going to be viable.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I jotted down some things that I wanted to. Yeah, John, we listen to you.
I'm listening to talk. I'm saying we want to.
Yeah, so you. Okay, so yeah, we listen to you. So I agree with the critique of we do need to build our party politically strong, savvy. I totally get that our locals running for office. So let me start by saying this. Last year, we ran 4 candidates, and we did a hell of a job. I mean, we picked ass. So that was myself, Elijah, LeBeau, Pierre. Pierre, was it 5? Yeah, okay, it's 5. So yeah, and we all had our numbers were great for first time runners. Elijah, no matter what people think about him, that young man did a hell of a job. 50,000 votes in Broward County. LeBeau had 18%, 16%. In a race where a supposed to be a bona fide incumbent, he kicked ass. I have to toot my own horn, I guess. So against an incumbent, a big time money machine, I got 25% of the vote. Okay. Pierre's numbers were something like 50,000 or more. He's not here, but kudos to him. So we did what we were supposed to do. Not saying that there's not more, but we did what we were supposed to do with little to no money, and we were very extremely grassroots. So we did that, and so I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't point that out. So party building, I totally get that. I agree with that, and I think we can always stand to do more. That's why we're asking the candidates those type questions. What do you offer? What else can we do? So, and I don't think we cannot be issue based, because we can't go knocking on the doors asking people, because people are going to ask, what can you do for me? If we're not leading on some of these causes, then we're gonna lose that. So we're gonna have to be diverse. We're gonna have to be ambidextrous in that. And I think that we can. I want to build us up, not tear you down. I think that situation is impeding our efforts to try to rebuild that. So you need to. A religious background. There are certain things I'm spiritual now or nothing now, but I believe that a lot can be done with few. But you get to the point where you're trying to go by keep building each other up. I don't believe in a the need to build a party and make it more viable. But I need you to understand, and to hopefully that you understand what I'm saying as well too. That first of all, your patriarchy, we can't deal with it. I'm not telling you who today, not today, whatever like that. But you got to clean that shit up, not us. Okay. Second thing, get some millennials on your team, because they know they probably could help you out and do some shortcuts. You wouldn't have to do a lot of driving, maybe. And maybe follow up with LeBeau and I when you get these new locals, so that, and I'm not saying that you haven't. I'm not saying that you haven't. I'm just close by, something in proximity, we can. We'd be more than willing to go check them out. So that's my stance on it.
Okay.
Ultimately, we're only 5 people here, so we took your heat and we treated you respectfully, so I'm gonna ask you to return the favor when he's back.
Okay, I'm just saying, with Duval, basically, Duval felt, I was a member up there, helped organize it there. I left Duval. Duval was still running, Karen was running when I left. It kind of fell apart, and Karen up there didn't probably have the support. When I wanted to try to bring it back to life, and basically my ex and her whole family was part of members of that affiliate up there. We part on bad terms or whatever. That's my problem, all that stuff. But still, I look at her, she probably could have been a leader up there or whatever, but I wasn't going to be the one to go up there and ask my ex, hey, maybe take over the affiliate or whatever. That's why I wanted to get somebody impartial to try to maybe talk to the people up in Duval, try to work it out, because I wasn't the person to help to try to get that affiliate back. Yeah, that's my problem with my ex. The other thing with Tara, I thought it was going to be great, they're going to do minority work, but that's what we need to do. We need diversity. I agree 100% in getting diversity. And I agree 100% if I could have had black people or Hispanic people or whatever on my team. I had nobody on my team. You know, I was doing this myself. And it's not, and going into white communities or whatever, it doesn't matter what door I knocked on. But when I did the voters registration list, and majority of it was white people, I'm sorry. I don't have contacts with the black people. In order to start an affiliate, you get the Green Party list and go knock on their doors, make phone calls with the people you got, and that's how you start affiliates. And hopefully they'll go out in the community, maybe the black community and all that stuff. And we did.
30 seconds.
Okay. We marched in the Martin Luther King parade in the black community and invited you and Bo to come over and join us, hopefully to get some black diversity in our, so we reach out to whatever we can do, and I'm sorry if you think I'm focusing on white minority or any of that stuff. We need a lot more diversity.
Point of information, Main City, when it was devastated by a hurricane without power and water and such for weeks and weeks, Bruce Wright turned the place that was the Pinellas meeting place into a storehouse for food and water and things, and was regularly delivering vans of food to the people in Haines City. And Tara, who was with Sherry Honkla's group. Well, who else is with Sherry Honkla's group? Why, Bruce Wright. So, to say, well, he didn't do that stuff. He busted his ass for those people.
All right, great. I'm behind all that type of work with social justice and helping the poor people. I agree 100% with that. I'm glad it did.
So real quickly, outreach, because that's what John's whole focus was on to begin with, and growing locals and stuff. One thing that I was lucky enough to be able to do is I have a friendship with our supervisor of elections, so I was able to actually go out into the schools, 9 different high schools, and we did a thing called Project Democracy. This is the first year we haven't been able to do it in like 7 years because Hurricane Michael trashed my community. Which is an opportunity. When you're in the middle of a disaster, opportunity knocks constantly because everybody needs something. People have lost their jobs, they've lost their schools, they've lost their homes, they've lost their vehicles, they've lost everything. And it's really part of the reason I came to the annual meeting was to get away from all that, because, man, it's been tough, you know? I mean, 8 months, almost 8 months, so. Just something to connect, to get the word out to the younger people, the millennials that are the 12, the 15, the 18-year-olds. They are where the Green Party is going to happen. You know, I'm 68. I'm not going to be around a whole, you know, I might be around 10 more years, maybe 20 more years, but the young people are the ones that are getting the most attention because they are fearless. They are not afraid. You know, they're not afraid of losing their job because a lot of them are still living at home with their parents. They're not afraid of, you know, they don't have an economic threat hanging over their heads like a lot of us do. If we try to be too vocal, you know, we might lose our jobs, like the rabbi. You know, Dario Hunter lost his job because he was vocal about the Green Party. It happens to people. But one thing we can do and try to do in our own communities, if we can make that connection, if we have viable supervisor elections that will actually work with us, you know. I mean, everybody doesn't have a Brenda Snipes like they did down south. You know, she's the exception to the rule. Mine is probably the exception to the rule on the other end. His name is Mark Anderson. He and I met back in '98, so I've known him for 20 years. And I met him before he was an elected official, so it made it a lot easier for me to communicate with him. The Green Party has been included in every one of these project democracies that they've ever hosted. I mean, he called me up and asked me if I wanted to do it, because he knew, because I ran for office the first time in 2004. So, fortunately, I have a history, but it's just my history, you know? I mean, we've lost a lot more Greens from my community than we've gained because I went after the young people. Well, you know where young people go? They go to Gainesville and go to college, and they go to Tallahassee and go to college, and they go to Atlanta and go to college, or they move away to find real jobs. And so I've lost probably 90% of the Greens I've helped grow in my own community because they go away. I mean, I stay in touch with them, but they're not there to help me, you know, and that's the hardest part of keeping a local going is you've got to have partners in your local. You can't just do it by yourself or with one other person. Because I mean, Steve Wilkie and I tried doing that for a long time, and then Kelly Duncan started helping me, but it was still only 2 or 3 of us almost all the time. Whether we were tabling, whether we were doing Earth Day, whether we were doing Project Democracy, we shared that. Steve and I basically shared that back and forth. I think one time we had a third person help us. So you got to find partners in your own space, and I recommend if you can, please, the outreach thing, try to work with your supervisor elections and the people that actually have access to the schools, so you can actually go and talk to them about the Green Party and our issues and about running for office and about encouraging, you know, I mean, they're ripe for it right now. I mean, the whole country's ripe for it. So I just want to bring that up. I mean, I admire John for all the work he tried and tried and tried and tried and tried, working. I mean, he spent countless hours on the road trying to help grow locals, and it's not easy. One year I came to the annual meeting and I met some folks from Pensacola and from Fort St. Joe and from Tallahassee, which is up in my neck of the woods. And we talked about getting together and helping them grow locals, but all we ever did was talk. It never happened, you know. Schedule a meeting, oh, sorry, I can't make it, you know, I mean, that happens. So I just want to share that because I think it's really important that we can use those tools. And we have 67 counties. We have 67 supervisor elections. There are opportunities in every county, especially counties that have registered Greens. I mean, I think Lake County has 100. Pensacola has almost 200. Tallahassee has almost 200. And we have a lot of smaller, medium-sized communities that have registered Greens, but if there's nobody there to do the outreach, there's nobody there to go knock on the door or call them up or have lunch with them or whatever it takes to get them, to pull them in and get them involved. And it's really hard. But the young people are where we're going to really go to the Green Party. I mean, look at Elijah. Like I said, Elijah's amazing. He surprises me all the time. I mean, so, yeah, I just want to thank you guys and take advantage of that. There's a lot of access to information to your supervisor elections, too. You get access to all the databases for all the registered Greens in your community. You get access to the entire database if you want of everybody who's registered to vote, everybody who's voted. So, and they will give you that information for free. They'll give it to you either on a disc or they'll send it to you in an email attachment. You can get access to a whole lot of information that way. So use it. Thanks.
All right. I'm starting with Steve, and then myself, and then Sonny, and then Gail.
Hey, great discussion here. I think it's a really important discussion for us to have, and I love the fact that all these truth tellers can get together and share their truth because it's all valid. The one exception I take with what John was saying, his emphasis on the fact, or not the fact, but his emphasis on saying that we're not a viable party. I take exception to that. You know, I don't know if it sunk in yesterday, Tim Canova's talk about what happened down there in Broward, but I just want to repeat it real quick. They got 5% across each polling precinct, and the odds of that happening were like winning the lottery every day for a year. Winning the lottery alone once is huge odds. Every day for a year, you know, statistics is tough. I took a lot of math classes in engineering. Statistics was probably the toughest course I took as far as math goes. But just want to let that sink in for a second. And so everyone can realize the corruption we're dealing with. So we're not even getting the votes that we should be getting a lot of times. You know, because you got 20-something%. There's not 20% Greens in your district. You know, a lot of people voted for Robin and all other candidates that are not Greens. So we have viability, we have momentum, and we got to continue this momentum. You know, not everybody can go knock on doors. You know, Jeff and Rose, they've got, I believe, 8 members right now, active form signing members. You know, Jeff and Rose aren't going to go knocking on doors. They've got their hands running a great website, running the accreditation committee nationally. Everybody brings something to the table that they can do. But maybe someone in there among those 8 can take on knocking on doors. Everybody can do something. And I think we need to individually, you know, always have that in the back of our mind. We had a little discussion on the CC Lister over about, you know, kind of being evangelists for the Green Party, you know, and you don't want to. I'm learning how to do this myself. I've only been at it 2 years. You know, what I'm discovering is, you know, you don't want to preach to people, you know, but I think for me personally, I'm going to try to come from the place of how the Green Party has affected me and the experiences I've had with the Green Party. Talk about my experience, you know, and maybe that can resonate with people. And then, of course, if you do go knock on doors, get to know that person, you know. What makes them tick? What are their hot button issues? And try to draw them in to work on those things, because every little issue has needs some work, you know, somebody working on it in the party. And what was I going to say? Oh, you know, talk about successes, issues. You know, you don't have to have somebody elected to office to have success. You know, we've been going to meetings when we can. The Space Coast Progressive Alliance you mentioned, they're a great organization. We've been to a few of their meetings, and you know, at the beginning of the meeting, they generally give people a couple minutes each to speak. You know, pass that around, and you might get some signatures that way. The other thing I wanted to mention is, you know, I mentioned it yesterday, I want to get a petition started to address this election integrity thing. I don't know exactly, you know, I don't expect it to come out of this meeting today, but moving forward, I'd like for us to all have just one petition about this election integrity thing. You know, maybe it's just getting all the parties listed on when you sign up to vote. When you register to vote, get all those parties listed there. You know, maybe just something as simple as that. But if we have a petition to sign when we do go to speak at these things, you know, that goes a long way towards, hey, they're doing something. And,
Yeah, we could just get green and libertarian added to the actual voter registration form. That'd be a lot, because those are the next two largest parties.
Let's make
Then we should be on there.
Yes, we make it work, because
But that was-
talking about we buy schedule, but.
real quickly, last,
30 seconds, please.
yeah, last point. And those are successes you can point to as well. If you have a big turnout like we did at the Titusville meeting about clear cutting, we're trying to stop that and get the laws strengthened for tree protection and so forth. And we did get them, that particular council that day, to pass a resolution to look at the laws and try to strengthen them. You know, it's a minor victory, but it's something when you talk to people, you can point to, or email your list, hey, we had this success. And that really does inspire people, and that's it.
All right, I'm going to take my spot on this back next, and then we'll have Sunny. All right, first of all, some of that heat that I got from John, I fully accept that. I recognize that there are ways definitely that I could have been better at what I do. And I need people like John to be pushing me, reminding me to do these things, because I'm a normal person. When I say I'm a normal person, like, I was never involved in any kind of organization, anything, before a couple of years ago, before maybe 6 months before you guys appointed and elected me to this post. So I do need to learn to get better at that. I do need to be better at following up. And I promise you, you're going to see a redoubled effort on our part. We were talking about the three-party tour last night, and making sure that we go around and visit these locals. That being said, I also recognize that we lean on you and perhaps too much. Building you the team is something that we definitely will be putting up front to make sure you don't travel the state alone all by yourself, to get these things done. Simultaneously, I do recognize that we're going to have more than one top priority, as crazy as that sounds. If you guys deem to elect me and Robin again, I think that that's one of the fortes we have is you're going to be much more successful at getting Robin to show up in a town somewhere, to go to a parade somewhere, a meeting somewhere, than me. You're going to be much more successful in getting me to sit down and write that document, make sure that the forms are sent to the state, et cetera, et cetera. We all have different strengths and different weaknesses. And I will tell you that I still need to work strong on my outreach. But I do need that constant push, but I need you to understand that it's not that we don't care, it's not that we don't prioritize that, it's not that we don't value that. It's that there's a lot of stuff, man, I do thank you for everything you've done, and I don't know if you know, I think that your neighbor here can tell you how much I praise the work that you do, because it really blows my mind. I can't imagine the ability to do that, and in that aspect, I start to be like you. But I guess that's what I have, as far as that's concerned. I'm going to cede the floor to Sunny.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sunny Freeman, and I really am all about you. You are, except for the Bible thing, you are right on the money. What I want to tell everybody is, it looks like I said I'm a baby, it looks like what you really need is, when you build these teams, these outreach teams, there should be a CFO, there should be somebody that handles helping the locals get their money so they can do what they need to do. So there has to be somebody that's a COO kind of person who does logistics for the locals. Well, maybe just the job. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying that when you do this outreach thing and you said you need a team, those are the kind of skills that you need on those teams. So you can say, hey, Polk County just da-da-da-da-da. There is somebody there that knows what they're doing, they know what their part is, and they're ready to go. That's one thing. Now, very quickly, I believe in training and marketing. They are different. Training is what you do to train your groups. For instance, we need to have a state message, has to be consistent. I think that's what we're missing, is that consistency part. So Dario said, we're the party of justice. I like that, but I love it better if it was we were the party of justice for all. Wouldn't that be awesome? We are the party of justice for all. That would be a really great thing. Also, when you're talking to these people, no matter where you are, find their passion. You don't have to speak the issues. That's because you're buckshotting. Find their pain, their passion. They're passionate about something. Out of that long laundry list, there's something on there they're passionate about. Find their pain. When you go to these groups, that group has a pain. They're trying to do blah, blah, blah. We don't necessarily have to tell them all that we're doing, because that's where I think we're getting bogged down. Don't worry about you. This ain't about you. It's about them. Find their pain. And get this. It seems that their pain is there's nobody elected to fix it. So, that's why they need us. So our message is to no matter what group you see, your pain is why we're here. And we're here to get people elected to fix your pain. Trust me, that is going to get it. That is going to get it. So, that's the training piece. We as a state have to teach people how to manage these messages. The other thing is when, we talk to people now, we talk about the groups, the government offices, the same thing. When we go to green, when we represent green, see my green dress today, by the way? The green color is good. Isn't that nice?
You got style.
Why, thank you. So when you go to these government meetings, though, don't tell, oh yeah, honey, we're green, we believe it. Ain't nobody caring about that.
No, they don't.
They don't. What they want to hear is the Commission of City has pain. Somebody's in their ass giving them shit about something. If you want to be viable, when you go to that meeting, shut your mouth, listen to where the pain is, and then look at your list of stuff that you have for them. Ignore the rest and say, dude, I know that you've been city councilman and trying to do this and this and this, but here's what we have. We've got 3 candidates that are running to take care of this. Make it work. Help us out. Now, you've got their pain. They will listen to you. I guarantee they will listen to you. And they might even have something like you said to help you out. They might throw a list to you of contractors. They might throw, because they realize that you can help them with their pain. Okay. We have another issue here. The people, the individuals, the ones sitting over here pouring juice girl, okay? We have to teach them. We have to be the place that they go, that girl goes to find out new skills, to do the work at her workplace. Do you see what I'm saying? These people are already connected to their group. They might be a SHRM person, so they're connected to they might be a human resource person, and they're already in a meeting with their SHRM people. What we have to do is teach them how to be a green in that organization. You don't have to tell everybody, hey baby, I'm green! No, but when they're at the SHRM meeting, they say, we're putting out new architecture for the hospitals of the country, or the hospitals of your area. So you say, you know what? Why wouldn't we put in pollinating plants? That's something we can do. What I'm saying is we've got to teach people how to be green in their place, where they are. Okay, yes, I got you, okay. So, that's this talk about building an army. That's training. Marketing is where the state has to give a consistent and frequent message to the people, to the groups, to the government. We have to the city governments and things. We have to decode the bullshit that they've been saying about what reparation is, because it's what they think it is. We need to encode what it really is from us. That's our job. They have an image of us that is not accurate. We have to decode that, get rid of that, and put in the new code. That's really, this is just more of the same thing.
We got a lot to cover today.
Okay, that's it.
Thanks.
One more from the
I can deal
it, and I would be quick.
Are we still on outreach? I guess we are.
Yeah, but
Yeah, really.
Is that 15
Less
minutes
than
of
that.
outreach we were supposed to have? Yeah.
I just have one thing to say. We need young people, and I think starting in September, I know it's a little radical, but I think we need to find some teenagers because there is a worldwide school strike for climate.
Okay.
Kids all over the world are skipping schools on Friday. And I personally think, knowing my 15-year-old nephew right now, I mean, out of the blue when he was 14, he sends me a text. I think it's my generation's job to fix the planet. And these kids want this.
Yes.
And in a lot of ways, they're smarter than us. They're better with the gadgets. They're quick. They're young. They might be a tiny bit impulsive, but we could trust them, you know. Don't put them on a short leash. Give them be there to help them out if they need it, but stand back and let them take charge. I think also we need to reach out to not necessarily just our registered Greens, but people who don't vote. And I think if we look at where the biggest problems are in our own community, like where's the worst pollution in my town, in my county, if I go to the place that's having the most problems with the most pollution, that's probably the people I need to talk to. And other than that, it's really hard to drag people out for just a basic business meeting. But business meetings do have to happen. And so I think that with this stuff we can do with Skype, if we could alternate our boring business meeting with something fun and interesting, maybe we could hook up with some experts across the state, because this was awesome, being able to talk to people. We all have a television and a laptop that we could drag to our own meetings if somebody on the web team can maybe do a little training on how to do that. And that's it. Thanks. Oh, Steve, want to put something in?
Date of your high school strike?
Well, it's every Friday, all year. It started with that girl Greta in Sweden. She just did it herself. Nobody would help her, and so she just skipped school and sat on the steps of Parliament with a sign, "School strike for climate," and it's taken off. If you Google it, you'll see that it was big in Europe, Australia last year, and I really think hopefully our kids will pick up on it this year.
Yeah, well, the school just got out, so summertime's not really a good time to try to do that, but
Yeah, but we need 3 months to plan.
Yes, we do.
right now might not be the best time.
That's
School
right.
is
No, 3 months to plan is great.
Given how far behind we are, I'd like to keep things relatively quick. I left the Democratic Party when I was 20. Going to be 49 in a couple of months. I have been in independent politics. Do the math on that. It's a lot of math and a lot of years. But most of my life has been in independent politics. And in some ways, and I'm not saying this to discourage people, in some ways what being in independent politics is to have somebody constantly capping your knee and then ridiculing you for the fact that you can't win the race. The two-party system, the corporate system, caps us at the knees. They make everything nearly impossible, and God forbid we get votes, they throw them out. They flip them, they use these machines. We're not living in a democracy. So part of what we have to deal with is that we don't just win. Part of what we do is we need to create organization on the ground. That in some ways part of what we do is expose a corrupt system. That is part of what it means to be an independent. We are here to expose the system.
From love.
From love. I mean, from all sorts of places. Love is one of them. We're in a very interesting moment, and things can change. Right now, we're living at a time in history. May we live in interesting times. We sure do. And stuff can change on a dime. And so we have to have a certain amount of unity as a party, a certain manager. We don't need to point fingers. Why is this failed? Why is this failed? We need to figure out, even without differences, what's our commitment to the independent progressive option. And I think we have co-chairs who, in the first time in 6 years that I've been in this party, I see these co-chairs who are working their butts off to create the environment, because you've got to create an environment. And so I just want to just show my appreciation, and I would ask us all to give them a round of applause for what they've given to the party. So Green, thank you.
Go green.
All right, I think I need to move us along to some actual business, and what I'm going to say now actually kind of gives a feel for some of the stuff we've just been talking about. When I was elected last year, I said I wanted to focus on strengthening our bylaws, making sure that we're following our rules. And to some degree I've succeeded in that, to some degree we've failed in that. And one place that we failed is that it's our job to maintain the roster of active versus inactive parties. We have had parties that have joined up, that have been signed up to the Green Party and have not participated on a single phone call. It's our job to declare those parties inactive until they decide to act, until they decide to be involved. So I'm going to propose an action here, and I want to make sure that everyone agrees that it's ethical. We currently do not have quorum. That is to say that we currently do not have enough people to do business. If we can get on the phone with Hillsborough County, which is an active party, and get them on the phone, then we can reach quorum. The other thing we can do is that I can use my abilities as acting co-chair to declare some of the parties that have not been involved at all this year or since they joined as inactive. What that means is that if they've not attended 2 calls in a row, then we can declare them inactive, and in that case what they lose is the necessity for them to be here for quorum. And that's it. It's not really like you're no longer a member of the party until you decide to join another call, then you're no longer an active member, and we don't need to receive you for quorum. So, I can tell you for a fact that Indian River County has not been on a call at least this year, and perhaps in more than a year. I can tell you for a fact that Hernando has been on one single call for one moment to cast a single vote, and has not been active on calls since then. What are the other counties we're talking about?
Graduate.
All right. Sorry about that, Susan. I totally forgot. I apologize for that. So Hernando is indeed active because they're here and in attendance. But we also have Polk County and Haines County, and Davenport. Haines and Davenport, which is one city. Both of them have been on one single call since we voted to allow them in. So
That's true, Alachua, but they did not.
Alachua's been involved by email.
But they're not currently active because they don't have the forms and lists.
Did you already remove them from quorum in the first place?
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, so they're not one of the ones that we need for quorum, but we can definitely do that. So I want to receive consensus from the group here that this is not unethical. That is to say that declaring parties inactive, yes.
I would consider it actually more ethical because to consider them active when they have not been active actually is an interference in a burden that shouldn't be there. I agree with Kathy.
So I am not necessarily seeking permission because the bylaws allow the acting members of the board to make this declaration, but I'm looking for objections to make sure that we all agree that this is the course of action that we want to take, or suggestions that we make.
All right. We want to be a party that is that doesn't look like we're punishing. So can we throw in there some kind of incentive for them, saying, look, we understand that you've got things to do, but in order to be active, because we want to invite them to be active, so we need to, what kind of incentive can we say? We're still going to work with you to help you grow. If let's say that if you're not active, then we'll send a training team to see what we can do to get you active.
That's something we can discuss when we get to bylaws, which will be coming up. A.
Okay,
B.
no worries.
There's nothing to prevent us from doing that. Once again, declaring a party inactive simply means that they're not counted for quorum. And as soon as they decide to join a phone call or a meeting, then they're active again. I saw Steve say it first, and then Henry.
Just to clarify, that's one thing Sonny's suggested. But you're proposing that for today, in the voting in today, is everybody okay with considering these inactive parties?
What I'm telling you is that unless you tell me otherwise, I'm going to use my authority to declare them inactive.
Today.
Yes.
Today, right now. I'm in the process of doing that unless someone objects. Henry.
So let me back up. What we're dealing with is we don't have technically based on the number of locals that we actually list on our website as being active, we don't have a quorum.
That is correct.
So, in order to even have a vote today, we're going to have to take some of those listed locals that are supposedly active and determine them inactive in order to create a quorum so we can actually vote and re-elect officers, right?
Let me actually get a little.
That's the bottom line, right?
Yes, let me actually get more detailed, more specific, because we're all party members here. We also don't currently have an acting secretary. We passed a resolution earlier this year saying that if the secretary is not active, then the co-chairs can devolve those authorities to anyone else on the board. So the secretary's job is to maintain this list and declare members to be inactive. So this is the authority that I am going to be exercising here, once again, unless I hear objections.
Point of order.
Listening.
Just like to point out to anyone, I just read the bylaws the other day, it was an August last year version, but there is a whole process for doing this according to bylaws, including sending certified mail to this. But that said, I do not object. I think it's a very cumbersome process outlined in the bylaws, and I think it needs to be changed in the bylaws to streamline exactly. So I'm not objecting, I just wanted to point that out.
Does that knowledge change anyone's opinion on this action that I'm going to be taking here? All right, I hereby declare Lake, Indian River County, Polk, and Haines Davenport to be inactive due to non-participation. They will receive their privileges as soon as they choose to engage in email or phone conversations that we have.
All right.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Just for the record, please name them. I don't know if anybody's writing that down, but just for the record, would you repeat your
I wrote down Lake, Indian River, Polk, Haines.
Haines Davenport is one
Okay,
thing.
Haines Davenport.
Right.
All right,
So
that's one.
by eliminating those four, we have a quorum.
I believe we should. Kathy's hand is up.
Yes, we do have quorum, and actually what I'd like to do is just go down the list and I'll tell you the status for each. Does that sound good? And if I name the county, I just want to hear if we have representation of the.
Can you come to the mic for that?
Okay, so I'm going to name just the counties or the affiliates. Sorry, I'm just going to name the affiliates that are currently, that I have listed because they turned in forms and lists. And then I would like to hear present or not. And then for the ones that have been, that are inactive, I'll mention that as we go. So, Brevard.
Here.
Okay, great. Haines Davenport is just considered inactive. Fernando?
Yes.
Here, okay. Hillsborough, I have, is anyone here from Hillsborough? Okay, so they're active.
Francisco has been here.
Yeah,
They were here
but we have
yesterday.
quorum for, I mean, he's not here today, so
No,
we
he's
have
off.
0 from him, but that's fine. Okay. Indian River is now inactive. Miami-Dade,
We're here.
okay, and so we've got Miami-Dade. Pinellas,
Here.
we got Pinellas. Polk is inactive. St. Lucie just left,
We like voting instructions, so I would like to kind of perform.
okay. And whether he's present for anything beyond what he gave or anything, then we don't need it. We still have, we've reached.
Right, he gave us instructions on how he wants to vote on the things we actually have listed to vote on.
Okay.
And so I think we can come and forward with that, and then we may recount the form if we need to vote on something he was not aware of he left.
Right. Okay, so that's it. I'll tell you the numbers.
What was the fourth local that's being determined inactive?
Haines Davenport.
Indian River, Polk, and
Haines Davenport and
Lake,
Lake.
Indian River, Polk, Haines Island.
Lake.
Okay. and who I've said is here now is Brevard, Fernando, Miami-Dade, Pinellas, St. Lucie via the instructions from John.
Thank you very much for that, Rose.
Oh, Lucia, of course.
No, actually,
We're here, but we're delinquent with our forms. We had misinterpreted some things and thought that we had.
I would like to make some kind of motion.
But there are three of us
that
here.
technicality doesn't come from voting, because, I mean, they put this together for us, and we know they have an active local, so.
If you can take 3 forms, we got 3 people who can sign it right now.
I mean, this is a technicality.
all right, so here's what I would like to do. And Kathy, I need your attention for 1 second. I think now's a good time to break for lunch, so we can get together for the elections, and I can queue up the bylaws discussion. And that way, when you guys get back, we can get straight down to business. I can look in the bylaws and see what we can do about getting the Lucia their vote back.
Before breaking for lunch, I would say it's important for everybody to know the seats that are available, nominations, provide nominations, because we have seats available that do not have nominations.
Use the microphone, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so today's, important part of today is elections of seats. And we have those, if you go to the Facebook page, you get to the invite. On the invite page, if you click on the link, it'll have elections and nominations. You can see that on Google Drive. Sorry, I don't have it printed out, but you look on there and there's a list of all the seats. There's 2 co-chairs, 3 different seats under secretary. There's the main secretary and 2 supporting roles. A treasurer and a supporting role. 3 delegates to GPUS National, 3 alternates for GPUS National. Then you have after that is like spokespersons, and then we're going to be approving people for being on committees at the national level, and people are interested in being on caucuses and so forth.
I'm going to bring that here on the screen as soon as I can.
Those are put up on the screen. So what we need are nominations, and they don't have to be in this room. It can be nominations of other Greens that you consider would fill those roles. I don't know if they have to be on the council for I guess they do have to be on the council for the board. I don't know the bylaws well enough, I'm sorry.
No, the council and the board are separate. You can be a member of the board without being a member of the council.
Okay, so that means that you can consider people who are not delegates to GPF state to play one of those roles, treasurer, state, co-chair, etc. So think about it. We need nominations for these roles, and here in the second column. Okay, so the first column is the seat. The second column is the current person filling that role, and in the third column is the first column of nominees. Some of them have nominees there.
Yeah, did you say accreditation?
What about accreditation?
Did you mention that?
Below that are the GPUS committees. There's a whole list of committees. If you scroll on down, you'll see all of those committees. Accreditation is one of those committees, and you have people who are that are currently from GPUS, GPF Greens that are on those committees, and then you have we're permitted. Any state is permitted up to 3 members to be on any of the on the national committees. So on some of these, and you can also be an observer. So if you would like to be an observer on one of these national committees, you just put that up with parentheses around it, saying observer. That's what you'd like to be.
Is everyone able to see the screen and read the words? Yes.
If you have one good print out of that, I can make copies of lunch if you need them.
That would be great.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Can we get a printout?
I can't get that printed to work, but maybe I can go somewhere like a library or something.
Steve's,
We got a copy here.
Yeah, we'll get
Steve lives 2 minutes away. He's just on.
All right, so we'll get you a printout, and then we'll find a copy to copy it.
Or no, just email.
This is real work.
Yeah, if you can email it to me.
Well, we need that with the print initial.
I'll try to get some.
All right.
Steve can print it.
Yeah, Steve can print it. If you need it, can you email it to him? If you can email it to him, he can print it when he gets home.
I can just send you that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give him your email address.
So that's in Google Docs, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Is it on our website?
Okay, let me tell you where to find this. If you go to, the easiest way, for those who have.
Yeah, but he's not on Facebook.
Okay, not on Facebook, go to gpfl.org,
I've got-
look at the invite.
It's in the, wait,
I just texted you.
Or if you go to the invite page, there's a link on the first line there where it says, elections, nominees, and, elections, whatever.
You mean here, the invite page? For the event, that page? Maybe we can put that out and they can go.
Oh, I'm sorry, the agenda page, go to the agenda page.
I actually just forwarded this stuff to his email.
Put that on the screen, anyone can use a smartphone on the screen.
Did you send that to me, Dale? Yeah, I did send it to you. Okay.
If anyone uses QR codes,
I'll just forward the message again.
there's a QR code right there that you can use to.
Okay.
That's for today's election. The agenda for the rest of the day today is elect officers and do bylaws. That's our agenda. The order that we get that done, it depends on how prepared we are for what, when everyone returns from lunch. How long do you want to break for lunch?
Where are we going? Half an hour, 45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Yeah.
But maybe here. Does anyone object to 45 minutes for lunch? Bring it here.
It's 12:30 back here.
All right, people are asking for an hour, so 12:45. Back here. Then we have 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we do a hard out here. So we have 2 hours and 15 minutes. We straight to business. We'll do elections first, and then we'll do bylaws after that. Because if we don't finish the bylaws, we don't finish the elections. I think. Cool. Any objections? All right.
Gail, there's places to eat within walking distance to here.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. Right across
Flag
the
or-
street,
flag-
or walk out this way, and you're on the main
Yeah, that's a
tourist
nice- that's a
drag
nice
on the
street.
beach side. There's like,
Can I
yeah,
just-
probably 30 restaurants right there.
Worst case scenario, we can bring you back.
I got you already.
When you go to register, your driver's license at 16, you can actually pre-register to vote at 16.
Okay.
Because we were registered
You have
to
to have
vote
the app.
high school at 16 and 17.
Yeah, that's what the scanner happened.
When they got their driver's licenses, so that it was.
You might go to your phone. Some cameras may have a scanner or no.
Jeff. Would that make sense?
Are we missing?
No.
And another light.
It says Democrat and there's a blank, just like the regular form.
Yeah, okay.
So that's what we
got that sent to me?
And I don't know if we need a petition to do this. What we need to do is, I don't think so. To change that form, it's a matter of supervisor of elections in the state of Florida changing the form. That's stuff they can do. It doesn't have to be a law. They'll actually, they can
Division
actually,
elections.
if enough people ask for it, it doesn't have to be a petition.
And you know, we have allies.
Division elections, they're.
No, they haven't.
They don't have to call one from their regular.
To update the voter registration form to include. That's 4 major parts. How hard is that?
I think that they require, and I think it's fair, all of that. They're policies. And Republicans are on this form because they're not trying to law and major parties. And they force us to do their we're going to support my party. That's great. I don't think that's all. Because you want to, you're a minor party.
There's over 20 minor parties.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
State division of elections.
So we can make it so that the person doesn't know exactly the correct code, be able to represent part of the
I want you to know what my nephew needs
they actually
a
listen
ride
to the party
home from work.
next to things that you
Well,
already
at about
have. You know what I mean?
12:30. So I think I can grab something for lunch.
Who has a good burger? Public relations campaign.
I'm going to the end of the street breaker.
All the big babies doing like that.
Oh yeah, they might be packed. Oh, you know what? Well, it's giant, but if you want to split one
Yeah, I
for
mean, I've asked my
somebody,
supervisor several times, because, you know, they have
towards
annual
the very
meetings,
last
all the SOEs
restaurant
get
is
together.
on the corner
More than
of
once a year.
Peninsula
He-
and
he-
Flag,
he-
but right
he-
before you were going to
he-
go over the
he-
bridge, there's a
I
flower
served
shop on
as
the corner, and
president
there's a
of
little
the
other
organization.
lane
No, Mark was
right
Mark.
behind it.
He had
They
to
have a
bring it
half
here.
pound hamburger.
No,
It's
they
delicious. Well, that's
can
I say
propose those
they
guys.
do it
They're
with
meeting.
fired up.
To see what kind of
Like
feedback
$12
they
hamburger.
You want more?
Yeah, but I'm trying to
Yeah,
think.
what about this breakfast place? They do burgers.
All right, Captain, let me,
One about the
The only one that-
Yes, they do.
Supervisor,
And
all
that's why
67
those
communities. Ever been to Community
They should take too long.
Yeah.
Project Democracy?
No, that's probably the.
We've been doing it for 7, 8
I would
years.
say.
what party representative?
I think I'm the one that would like that big area. See if I can pick up something.
Is he in the state office or is he?
Well,
he would be more on me.
He's getting up. What did they?
What time does they They just have breakfast and they have Mexican food.
You know, I'm not all sure. I feel like it's part of Planter's Canteen,
It helps to have
but
people
I
like
heard
that.
it's, more of a smaller lunch menu cafe as opposed to big structure.
We can basically leave our stuff here.
Yeah, we can leave all our stuff here. I'm just letting my phone get a tiny bit of a charge. Yeah, I know. Right.
We got the voter registration over here. We can look up for you.
What?
We can look up for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I've actually got, see, I don't know his last name, but
Right, it's for, you know, the first name, right?
No, we have it, Aaron registered him, but he didn't give it.
Oh, okay. Oh, we did.
Yeah, we-
Well, I might be able to find him on Facebook or
That's
something,
the same.
and I can send him an email.
Okay.
Or
Do you have
a
one open
postcard.
to,
We do postcard mailings every once in a while. Actually, that would be perfect because we're trying to, we decided instead of sending out 200 postcards next time, we are going to focus on 20 to 40 people at a time to kind of target.
I'm gonna show up here and Weston, you are a very, very, very active member. What's your state office?
Let me wrap my head around my job.
Well, I understand office as assistant treasurer. The change of position, you'll basically work with Aaron will be the treasurer, and then,
she accepted the nomination. But she's the one that actually.
I'm not just bringing
No, not a renovation, that's the, she's on the MC, you know,
Oh, the billing.
your day at the mill. Charge her walk out that, she wants to remain that. She said, tell me what I accept and that I will continue to try to do a honorable job like her.
Okay, well, let's put it in here,
I asked her if she would start using teaching now. She's like, I mentioned anybody saying, they're moving out and taking. Yeah. Robin's going to a place called Cafe Verde.
That's, yeah, right over there. I've heard it's really good.
You just bring me something back.
Yeah, you know, they let me bring, takeout from there. Or...
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, we
I
can.
doing her.
Yeah, they didn't care. I told them we might be bringing a spread of food with us, or else we'd all be picking up takeout and possibly eating here.
Okay, I trust you.
And yeah, I'm gonna actually grab something to take out somewhere, and I just got a text from my nephew. He's got his first little job. Well, he folded your towels. He works in the laundry, and he gets out at 12:30, and long story. My sister's having trouble with her eyesight this morning, so I'm gonna drive him home.
Okay.
She has to go into the hyperbaric chamber to
Oh.
cure the damage from the radiation and chemo. So, and it's doing wonders for her whole body, but it messes up your eyesight. But then when it's over, your eyes go right back to normal. So they're like, don't get glasses, but you might not always be able to see. She's like, oh, great. Another side effect.
Alright, well, I'm off to Cafe Verde and I'll figure out something else.
Oh, hang on, Rose. I'll walk over there with you and grab my takeout. I think this will manage. I'm gonna walk over there, place my order, and go walk back to my car. Grab something to eat.
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm not the admin.
You got anything for us while we're